Privateers from New Orleans in white. Islanders from A&M Corpus Christi in blue. And are you ready for the random stat of the night? Corpus Christi 8-0 when winning the opening tip. The Privateers got possession.
Hey, it's March Madness, and you're going deep with those stats. But I tell you what, everything and every inch counts in a game like tonight, Lowell.
Gustavius Gill puts up the opening three-point shot. That's something that New Orleans doesn't do a lot when it comes to style of play. They're kind of old school. They like to ground and pound and work inside out.
Yeah, and what they do is they play an old Utah, for those NBA fans out there, Utah style or UCLA system where they try to pound it inside. They're very good in half-court offense and love to execute near the rim.
Tevin, number 25 in white, leads the team in assists, can finish as well, but there is the guy that feels he should have been the player of the year, Rashawn Thomas, with a rejection. Open look for the guy that is the player of the year, and the flush from Eric Thomas.
Big deal, and you get a great block by Thomas, and then you make the errant pass on the fast break. To be critical to take care of the ball tonight. You don't want to give away too many easy looks, especially in a championship level game.
A lot of turnovers the first time these two teams played on New Year's Eve. It was a one-point win by New Orleans in overtime, so buckle up. Gill leaving it inside, and a nice lefty finish from McCord Poe.
Yeah, and the reason that pass was so easy is Gill got no pressure. He can just throw it right over the defense, even though Poe was being fronted. You've got a pressure on the perimeter because New Orleans is looking to get the ball into the paint. You don't want to give up those easy looks from a passing standpoint.
But the Islanders can't afford this. Another turnover. Privateers the other way. That's off the glass. And that's going to be a 6-zip lead for the Privateers. Credit Tevin Broyles for that one. Wilson, sixth season as a head coach of the Islanders. 21 years as a head coach, on the cusp of going to the NCAA tournament for the first time as a D1 head coach.
And Coach Wilson has done, a phenomenal job with this program at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. He spent most of his life in the Houston area, of course, coached at Rice, went to school there as an assistant, and also was a head coach there. But just a great coach and probably a better person.
Tevin Broyles from way downtown does not get that to go. Amin putting the pressure on, and the kick out rolls out for Kareem South. South with the lone bucket for the Islanders, the 2 seed here in the Southwest Conference Championship. Islanders trying to get in for the first time since 2007. That was under Ronnie Era. For New Orleans, got to go way back to 1996. Last time they were in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and the boards is a key area.
Shot clock. Gill.
For this New Orleans team, they have the size advantage. Texas A&M Corpus Christi will have to gang rebound and keep that length off the boards. You don't want to give too many easy looks on second chance opportunities.
Joseph Kilgore, the pull-up. We're watching the top 2 shooting teams in the Southland Conference. New Orleans number 1 at 47.2. A&M Corpus Christi at number 2.
And you mentioned Kilgore with the shot there. This team goes at his pace, using Coach Wilson's words. He's also a major key to how things get done for Texas A&M Corpus Christi because of his efficiency on the offensive end.
South sidestepping through the paint. And a good start for the redshirt freshman from Toronto.
Well, what you love about this game is both teams and coaches believe that they're supposed to win this game. It's not an upset either way. You have 1 and 2 going against each other. In the first game, it was a 1-point game that went into overtime. And so both teams are well coached, well prepared. But let's look back to last night. For Texas A&M Corpus Christi, of the 200 minutes available, 6 guys played 183 of those. So they are used to playing a short roster, a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
So look for Kilgore to control tempo, control pace for this ball club tonight, so that they do not have to exert too much energy and not have anything left at the finish line.
Had a look at Mark Schlesinger, Southern Conference Coach of the Year, 6th year at New Orleans. Told us it was a roll of the dice when he took the job at New Orleans, because he didn't know if he was going to be playing on the D2 level with this program or the D1 level. We'll have a lot more on what is such a unique storyline for the Privateers to be at this point on the cusp of their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1996.
And you talk about Coach, I mean, his vibe and essence of him. Yeah, he's loose, and he's a guy's kind of guy. You just want to hang out and talk to him. He has absolute
off the bench for New Orleans to get that win. A lot of turnovers in that game. New Orleans won despite having 25 turnovers, as A&M Corpus Christi had 19 steals in the game.
Yeah, an unlikely hero. And the irony is, neither one of these teams go very deep, especially Texas A&M Corpus Christi. But Fry certainly came up as the unlikely hero and was a strongly contested game on either side.
Martinez, the San Antonio native. He's got 2 3-ball makes.
Coaches love to execute out of timeouts, and coaches on the defensive side hate to be executed on. So hats off to Coach Wilson there for drawing up a play to get Martinez that kind of look. And now it looks like Texas A&M is going to a zone, which is going to force New Orleans to play on their Achilles heel, or to their Achilles heel, and take jump shots. Just something they don't do very well in terms of executing.
But something the Privateers expected to see from A&M Corpus Christi.
Yeah, and they did. And to counter that, they talked about running offense, man-to-man offense, which is what a lot of coaches do. Whenever a team plays a zone, you don't have to adjust. You can still run man offense and force the defense to adjust to you.
Ehab Amin just ran into the teeth of the New Orleans defense there. Thibodeau, skip pass. Back to Broyles. Too strong. Cohen with the rebound.
Yeah, and Corey, I think you've got to close out short to guys here when you're in the zone and gain rebound, because New Orleans typically wins the rebound battle.
And another turnover. Kareem South trying to shake off Tevin Thibodeau. Did not work.
Boy, those are big minutes. Getting Thomas some rest. You know, he's going to be on the floor most of the night. So anytime you can get your best players rest, and you see both Thomases coming back on the floor.
It's the chess match.
There you go. You took the words right out of my mouth.
I'm sorry about that.
No problem. Stills are happening on the floor. They can happen over here too.
And speaking of, A&M Corpus Christi, 6 turnovers so far.
That was Hollywood.
Fry, you're calling out Fry for the acting job.
Fry plays well against this team. Watch here on the replay.
Flattened.
Thomas is set. He's set. He got there quick. And watch the head snap. He snaps the head.
That's 6'8", 230.
An official
on 6'4", 215.
Buys it.
You're calling the guy an actor.
That's exactly what you've got to do.
He got steamrolled.
Yes, he did. No, if you get set, you're set. And so it's not his fault that Fry decided to put his head on one of those arms.
Big foul as Ehab Amin picks up number 2. Talking about the second leading scorer for the Islanders, who was second in D1 basketball in steals per game. Really is a 2-man show with supporting parts for this Islanders team, with Rashawn Thomas and Ehab Amin.
Yeah, and Ehab, he is as aggressive as they get. and South and Kilgore, what they do is temper his aggression. And they temper it by playing at a pace that's not on the edge. I mean, he plays on the edge at both ends of the floor, which is why he's one of the best, if not the best, steals guy in the country.
Eric Thomas just picked up foul number 1. Sean Thomas, another screen, set on Fry. Kilgore, the turnaround, high off the glass, rebound pulled down by Eric Thomas.
Yeah, and their half-court offense is pretty predictable at this point. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi is staying with the high pick-and-roll action with Kilgore having the ball in his hand.
Nice feed to Poe, but Poe cannot finish. Gill tries to take it away. Kilgore to South. It's short. Privateers off and running. Spin and dish. And a mad scramble. Thomas was calling for the timeout, but it's going to stay Privateers team that does not have great size when you consider what that would mean for other power conferences. But in terms of the Southland Conference, Privateers have good size in the post.
Yeah, they do, especially for this conference, as you mentioned. There's it right there with Poe guarding Thomas. You see he didn't just raise up right over him. That's because of Poe's length. Look at those arms. I mean, you got to deal with that and try to get a shot off. Not easy.
Kilgore.
But that man can get it off easy. He is a key. Coach Wilson said it before the game. They love the ball in Kilgore's hands, and he's able to find spots and shoot over people. He's excellent in the mid-court range.
7-0 run as Thomas looks to Poe. Baseline, but Rashad Thomas all over him. Great feed from Eric Thomas to Nate Fry.
Yeah, it looked like South there lost his man. Just an excellent backdoor cut. Found Fry right under the basket. You've got to move without the ball offensively and defensively. You've got to see both the man and the ball.
Seems like it's tough to speed up Eric Thomas. Rashad, step back, drops it in the face of Poe.
Textbook defense, better offense, and that's why this young man had a close race for best player in the conference. He's so good and can get it done from just about any area of the floor.
The Stars showing out. Backdoor cut. Thomas blocked by Schmidt. Second effort is there. And you can see Eric Thomas starting to try to take control of this game.
They got a mismatch. They got to identify it.
Poe doesn't have his shoe.
They got numbers.
And instead, Rashad Thomas throws it away. Nate Fry, transition. Does not get the roll. And it's off.
And Mike Anderson, who has done a nice job at Arkansas.
What do you think about the early flow of this game? 6 minutes to the half. Corpus Christi up by 4.
A lot of this was predictable in terms of how teams would try to play. I really think in this environment, as Martinez knocks the shot down, the advantage goes, in my opinion, to Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, because of their perimeter abilities. I mean, as you see there, Thomas has to force something near the rim. Martinez with his third three. They're now 3 for 7 with range. And in a championship-type game, when you have the advantage on the perimeter, you can control the game. What a block!
Kilgore, as Thibodeau tried to go reverse.
You see right now, A&M Corpus Christi is controlling the game through that young man right there, Kilgore.
And there he is. Kilgore gets the follow as Thomas initially lost the handle. Right place, right time.
Yeah, and he's the equation that New Orleans is going to have to solve. And then you see they're switching up defense. Defense is now there in the man, not giving New Orleans a steady diet defensively.
Still cannot get that answer from 3. And another held ball. New Orleans ball this time. I can't sum up just how unlikely these three-point shots are for New Orleans. We'll get there in just a moment, but check out that block from Curry.
I mean, that's just extra effort, helping your teammate. I mean, what a big-time play. Takes his time and just shoots right over top of the defense. New Orleans doesn't solve the situation with this young man Kilgore. It could turn into a long night soon.
It's a 14-4 run for the Islanders. Turnover by Thomas. Talking about the three-point shot here, you got New Orleans 0 for 7. They get 18% of their points from three-point range. Only Cal State Northridge and Evansville relied less on the three-point shot than the New Orleans Privateers. Why are we seeing so many of them?
Well, they're getting open looks mainly because of that young man Kilgore. He has the ball in his hands. He's controlling the pace, and the defense is having to break down when he gets in the paint, and he's finding people, namely Martinez.
Martinez has been the X factor in this game, much in the same way that Nate Fry was in the overtime win for New Orleans back on December 31st. Thomas pulling up over Zeno, and Thomas will draw the foul.
And I mean, we talked about it at the start of the game that these teams are so evenly matched in terms of personnel, ability, coaching. I mean, even that first game, the one-point game, I think in some ways a little bit of a psychological advantage can go to Texas A&M Corpus Christi, because when you lose like that in an overtime game, you want to get back and play and win that game. And then you talked about Thomas getting second, you know, in the voting for the MVP of the conference. So there are a lot of things for the bulletin board for this Texas A&M Corpus Christi team to come into this game with.
No doubt about it. They are hot right now. January 25th, they beat Lamar in overtime. Since that win, the Islanders have won 10 of 11, coming by the average of 12 points. Rebound put back Thibodeau as they try to stop this Islanders run.
Yeah, and that's emblematic of what they do. They really push the issue about getting to the rim. You've got to find bodies and keep them off the boards. You don't want to give up offensive rebounds to this New Orleans team.
Really big storyline here between the stars. Who's getting more help? Right now, Rashawn Thomas getting more help because of that man.
Tell you what, they've got an uphill battle that is New Orleans, simply because of what they're doing offensively. They've got to figure out a way to generate some offense beyond getting layups, and secondly, beyond the three-point line, because they're struggling there. That means they've got to try to pick up the pace and potentially get some easy looks on run-outs or fast break points.
Don't count the Privateers out yet. If you said that they would even be in this championship game, you're either a diehard New Orleans fan or you're a liar, because they were picked number 9 in the preseason poll by the Southland Conference coaches, and here they are going toe-to-toe with the 2-seed Texas A&M Corpus Christi winner, automatically into the NCAA tournament. Privateers know they're going to the postseason. They won the regular season title. That means they're at least locked into the NIT.
Yeah, Commissioner Tom Burnett has got to be extremely happy. We talked to him a little bit before the game about this showcase of these two teams, 1 and 2. And, you know, you almost can't lose the great story of New Orleans. Of course, you can't bring them up without mentioning Katrina and what they've been through in terms of difficulty, being displaced to Texas A&M several years ago and then bouncing back, potentially D2. And now they're on the brink of getting to the NCAA tournament. And then, of course, A&M Corpus Christi, their great story as well with Coach Wilson and his first opportunity to take a team to the dance as a head coach.
Thomas backing down post, second chance. Rattles in. 9 points for Rashawn Thomas. Thomas, the leader this season in scoring and rebounding in the Southland Conference.
Yeah, and you've got to bring a double team early just because he's so good around the rim.
Thibodeau dumps it off.
Thomas using his left against Pope.
Kilgore backing down Thibodeau. Size mismatch there, but Kilgore went right at him.
Yeah, you can't allow Poe to have to guard Thomas single-handedly. He's long enough on the perimeter, that is Poe, but around the rim, he's just got a girth and weight advantage that he knows how to use.
Coach Wilson says that Rashawn Thomas is
talked about. Coach was just so proud of this group with the things that they've endured, and a lot of the fans don't get to experience what a team goes through in terms of personally, professionally. The coaches, you're away from families, you deal with so many difficulties, and it affects the floor. It doesn't happen on the basketball court, but a lot of those things affect it, and this team has been able to overcome so much and put themselves in a position to advance to the NCAA tournament.
And it's been a long maturation process for his star, Rashawn Thomas, all-time program leader in points, rebounds, block shots, double-doubles. That list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, and something that doesn't show up in the statistics is maturity. I mean, he's gotten more mature, and you're seeing that, the results of that maturity right now.
Champ Week continues Sunday on ESPN2 with 2 more championship games starting at noon with the first ever Ivy League championship. Yale, Princeton from the Palestra. Then at 2 Eastern, 6 seed Troy faces 4 seed Texas State for the Sun Belt title. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. We were looking at that Texas State win over UT Arlington. A little bit of a shocker for us because we've seen UTA in Austin the past couple of years. We thought that was a team that may have a March runner.
Yeah, and the Horns fans, I'm sure, don't want to see them anymore. They're a very good team that you would have thought would have a chance to be in the tournament.
Uh-oh, Kristavius Gill, the long heave, and we got a 6-point ball game.
Well, that's what he does. He plays the passing lanes and shoots threes. Had big ones in the semifinal game. You don't want to let that young man get it going. You've got to find him on the perimeter.
Islanders wanted to travel on Tevin Broyles, did not get the call. Gill, open lane, drops it in. Back-to-back buckets for Kristavius Gill. It's a 4-point game. Late in the half, the Privateers got it within 5. Islanders went on a run.
Yeah, and I think the basket, the 3 that Gill made is what opened up the opportunity to get inside. They can get more threes like that potentially will create space and allow them to get the baskets around the bucket.
I can only imagine who Kilgore would have called there if he would have beat the buzzer with that deep 3.
Yeah, well, that was a heat check without a reference point. Usually you've got a reference point of 1 or 2 you've made before.
Clock was winding down, but had more time than that. Gill on a knee. Broyles, awkward pull up, but gets it to drop, and here come the Privateers. 7-zip run. We got a 2-point ball game.
Well, this is what they needed to do. Get baskets that were not at point-blank range. 2 of the last 3 have been just that. Nice find out of the double team. New Orleans has figured out you can't allow Thomas to have the ball around the basket without double teaming him. Live with that result.
Thibodeau tried to save it, stepped out of bounds as Gill was trying to give the Privateers the lead. But it's because of Gill that New Orleans is back in this game. The deep 3 ball, then the drive to the bucket. New Orleans
7-6, 17-1 in conference. I mean, you can't help that you're in the conference you're in. There are a lot of teams in this situation. year in and year out that end up on the outside.
Not everybody can make it, my man, Lance Broyles.
I agree, but you can't have a season that good and have to watch everyone else make it to the tournament.
Since when did fair matter?
Fair, it's America, and we're a fair country. We do things fairly, and that one is not fair. I mean, it happened last year. You have Fresno State play San Diego State in their conference final. Fresno State goes, San Diego State doesn't, but they had an excellent record and actually won the conference.
Kilgore, the response. He's got 13.
You're going to ignore me. Okay.
I was just calling the action.
The action? It's a tournament time. What do you mean the action? We can talk about two things at once. We can talk about the Redbirds not getting in the tournament possibly, as well as the game.
Privateers know there's one way to get in, and it's to keep battling. Tevin Broyles.
What, did he try to throw that off of someone's back like last night? He did it again. They had to watch tape. The same thing happened last night, and he actually inadvertently skidded off of the back of Thomas, and he still got it and was able to get the foul and lay it in.
3-point play. Deshaun Thomas now with 3 fouls. Unbelievable story. The seniors for New Orleans. Broyles, Fry, Gill, Thomas. New Orleans, for all 4 of those players, was the only D1 offer. And here they are, down by 1, with an NCAA tournament bid on the line.
You love the storylines of both of these coaches and the players they were able to go get. Guys like Thomas, who's just done a marvelous job, didn't have a lot of people after him at the D1 level, and then he ends up being the player of the year in the Southland. Then, of course, on the other side, you have the other Thomas, Rashawn, who from Oklahoma has just done a remarkable job at A&M Corpus Christi.
Tough angle for Amin, still scoreless. Fry loses the handle, but we got a foul.
I think you got to watch Amin for Texas A&M Corpus Christi, because as the game goes on, he's one of these guys where both coaches are got to be a little concerned.
He started last night too.
He can get hot, but he also likes to press the envelope, as we saw there with the ill-advised drive to the basket. You love the energy, you love the execution and the effort and aggression in a game like this, but sometimes you need decisions that work for you, and sometimes that aggression can work against you.
Uncharacteristic miss. Back-to-back free throws from Nate Fry. The leading free throw shooter on this Privateers team had a chance to give New Orleans the lead. Martinez staying perfect from distance. He's got 12. 4 of 4 from three-point range.
Well, and there's an example of the running mates you were talking about helping out Thomas. If this game were to end now, that would be the difference. The Texas A&M able to shoot with great execution from beyond the arc.
He's 8 of 10 from 3 here in Katy, Texas. Great 5 from Thibodeau, the leading assist man, to Michael Zeno from Beaumont, Texas.
The textbook New Orleans basketball. They love to get stuff at the rim.
Charge call on Kilgore.
Boy, the game is that close.
The officials had to look at each other.
Yeah, Brent Moe held it for a second. He was coming back from a broken back, was in a body cast, literally approximately a year. And they just stayed with it and have reaped huge benefits from this young man. Speaking of benefits, you better find him, because Martinez has been stroking it well from beyond the arc.
Perfect 4 of 4.
Firing daggers, late clock here.
South, the floater gets it to drop
with the nice lefty.
Islanders with the 2-point lead.
Boy, a different result than from earlier in this half when they couldn't get it in on the inbounds. They really fought hard to get back into this game and take control and get a lead.
And we got intensity building now with every possession. 6-0 run in response for A&M Corpus Christi. The kick to Gill with confidence. Got it.
Well, Gill is about the only hope from beyond the arc. He and Fry. A nice execution there with no hesitation.
Trading blows with the tourney bid on the line. And he, Christavius Gill, wearing number 5 in the white, has been enormous for the Privateers in the second half.
Yeah, and then credit that to Kilgore, just like the one at the end of the first half. Lost contact with the shooter. You've got to know where people are. Thomas had him locked up at the free throw line. There was no need to not already be out on the perimeter.
Poe picked up foul number 4. He's now on the bench as Kareem South from Toronto gives the Islanders the lead. He's got 10. You thought it was tough to scout talent in the NBA as a former GM? Hey, how about going to Canada, finding guys from Egypt, finding guys that no one else wanted? That is how these teams, New Orleans and A&M Corpus Christi, were built.
Yeah, and they play with that chip on them, either team and players.
Thomas, aggressive. As Zeno is looking for the putback.
Well, we talked about Michael Zeno and his energy around the basket. You've got to attach to him and stay with him. Thomas there not boxing out anyone.
Amin picks up foul number 3. Zeno, the high archer. No good.
Martinez back on the floor. Coach Wilson, we talked about a chess match, opting for offense, defense right now with he and Jake Coacher.
Zeno, for as good as he's been from the field in the second half, misses both. And Willis Wilson and his Islanders trying to hold on to this 1-point lead. Amin with 3 on the clock. Too strong. A rebound pulled down by the Southland Conference Player of the Year, Eric Thomas.
Very good defensive possession there for New Orleans, forcing the long 3 with a late shot clock. Definitely want to keep yourself between your man and the basket at this stage of the game. You don't want to give anything easy.
Thomas didn't have to leave his feet. Back-to-back blocks from Rashawn Thomas. Southland Conference title on the line. Winner to the big dance. It's A&M Corpus Christi by 1.
Why do some cashback?
With the first ever Ivy League championship game, 3 seed Yale, 1 seed Princeton from the Palestra. Then at 2 Eastern, we got Troy and Texas State. One of those looking for the surprise title and the Sun Belt Conference championship game. Both games also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Lance, what do you think? 3:52 left to play. The 2 seed with a 1-point lead.
I think these free throws are huge because this young man, Thomas, hasn't scored in this half. Gives him a chance to gain a little bit of confidence and watch the ball go through the basket with only 3:52 to go in the game. Also, you got to watch the fouls. That was something that Coach Wilson talked about. 15-8 in that category with New Orleans having the 15, and it's because of the constant pounding of the ball and offensive rebounds around the basket. Where Texas A&M Corpus Christi has had to foul them of late.
So New Orleans takes a lead back on free throws from Eric Thomas. 1996. 1-1 here from Thomas. 72% free throw shooter. Tied at 53. 14 points for the leading scorer in the Southland Conference. How big do you think this factors in with Thomas and Thomas, the two best players in the conference down the stretch here?
Well, it's extremely important to have them both engaged and on the floor at this time of the game. You wouldn't not do that. But they've also had great supporting cast tonight in terms of those guys executing plays, getting rebounds. Everyone has had a hand in this game thus far on either side in terms of minutes and what they've done.
3 on the clock. Gill beats the clock, gets the corner of the rim. 3 minutes left. Tournament bid on the line in Katy, Texas.
Yeah, and here's an example. Kilgore has been a key. South, I mean, all these guys have supported Thomas in terms of helping them secure this lead thus far in a tightly fought game.
It's been a fun watch. Rashawn pulls up, draws the foul.
Whoa. Quite beneficial call there.
You don't think Thibodeau got him?
I'm not
Thibodeau
sure.
Doesn't think he got him.
Either way, you don't want to foul a guy falling away. Again, putting him on the line. Let's see here. I don't know. That was a little too close for me to call.
And the Stars get the calls, though, right?
Yeah, they do. But also the ball don't lie.
Where's Rasheed Wallace when you need him? Thomas hit both last time up to give the Islanders the lead, trying to pad it. And it's a 2-point game, 16 for Rashawn Thomas. Where do you go right here if you're New Orleans? Need a bucket.
Well, you got to go through your best player, Thomas.
And there he is. Okay. And it works.
Of course.
Funny how that works out.
And it's right on the block, meaning right around the basket. Remember those 2 free throws a few minutes ago?
Oh, yeah.
He got to see it go through the basket. Now he's putting it in the basket in context.
Thomas and Thomas, 2 best players in the Southland, could determine who wins the tournament title. 2 minutes left in the Southland Conference Championship game. Thomas with the full head of steam.
Thomas and Thomas is what this game is turning into. They are committed to get that ball to Rashawn Thomas there. And it looks like New Orleans is about to do the same thing on the little pin down. They'll do a cross screen and look where they're trying to throw it.
Rashawn.
Schmidt has to use his
for the Islanders. Here comes Eric. The feed to Zeno. And Zeno is fouled.
Yeah, again, help the helper. Been talking about it all night long. Here's to Eric Thomas, the nice seal. And then Rashawn gets it isolated at the top.
Moments ago, Zeno missed 2 at the charity stripe. Ten points for the junior from Beaumont.
Yeah, and Zeno is there because the defense didn't help. But I tell you what this stoppage of play and foul does, it allows Coach Wilson to get Martinez on the floor. He's been running offense-defense for quite a while with Jake
Eric White, offensive rebound, and the timeout call. Heavy play.
Coming up with the offensive rebound on the missed free throw.
So you've got Rashawn Thomas and Eric Thomas. Tight battle for Conference Player of the Year. At one point in time, Eric Thomas on the right was trying to chase Rashawn Thomas for the conference scoring title. His coach, Mark Schlesinger, pulled him aside and said, son, do you want to chase the scoring title or do you want to win a championship? Because you cannot do both. Eric Thomas decided to give up that run for a scoring title to put his effort and focus on winning this, the Southland Conference Tournament. They got the regular season title. A win tonight puts him in the NCAAs for the first time since '96. A loss, and they're still locked into the NIT. 1:15 left from Katy, Texas. The lead. And the finish from Broyles. Everybody else went right by him, and the Privateers with the lead.
Yeah, out of the timeout, was there any doubt where they were going with that? Broyles doing a nice job, taking his time and finishing right at the rim.
Kilgore got in trouble. Thomas bails him out, and he's fouled. Thibodeau fouls Rashawn Thomas. It looks like a three-point attempt.
Yeah, I think it was a three, and we talk about decisions. Thibodeau, the refs tipped their hand in the last possession where he guarded him on the perimeter. He does almost the exact thing. Hits him in the face. It's a Groundhog Day possession for Thibodeau. He's disappointed, should be disappointed in himself. Can't put the hand that close to the face.
Costly foul picked up by Tevin Thibodeau. That's clear, right, Lance?
Yeah, it's clear. You've got to call that. You almost gave up a 4-point play.
20 points from the Southland Conference leading score, and it's a 2-point lead.
And you get
checking a 1-point lead for A&M. Now the top two players, first team all conference for the Islanders, now each with 4 fouls. Rashawn Thomas and Ehab Amin. Conference Player of the Year, Eric Thomas, 14 in white. Amin looking for the steal. Broyles spinning past Kilgore and somehow gets it past the outstretched arms of Rashawn Thomas. He's got 12.
We have a nice finish. The help has to come earlier on Broyles. He did a great job of spinning and putting it in a place no one could get it.
What a finish on the bucket and to this game in general. South, the drive on Thomas. That shot effective. Kilgore cannot connect. And Tevin Broyles pulls down the rebound. Look at the spin cycle. With the all-time leading shot blocker in Islanders history coming quick.
Yeah, you would have hoped if you were on the defensive side of that great play that New Orleans made, someone from the weak side would have loaded the floor up. Good job by Broyles of recognizing there was no help. Spun and was able to finish.
Rattles that one home. New Orleans, the regular season champs and the Southland Conference. They were 10-20 a season ago, tied for 9th place in the conference. A remarkable turnaround by Mark Schlesinger. Dr. Peter Foss on hand. University president who may have single-handedly saved this program from dipping to D2 or D3. Thibodeau, no foul call that time. Good bounce back.
Yeah, no, got it in the hands of the right person. Thomas unable to finish. Right now, New Orleans has done an excellent job of taking control and command of this game.
Amin with the steal. Looking for the awkward finish. Amin, second nationally with 3.3 steals per game.
Well, he is relentless. Amin is about attacking you from a defensive perspective.
offensive game not going his way. He did become the all-time leader in steals tonight for Texas A&M Corpus Christi. With only 2 points for a guy that's averaging 17 this season.
He's really struggled offensively, but again, doesn't affect his defense because he's going to go for just about anything in his area when it comes to stealing the ball or attempting to.
.90 seconds left. NCAA tournament in the balance. Amin looks for the steal. Broyles collects himself, and he draws the foul on Joseph Kilgore.
Yeah, he sold that. And I thought New Orleans was a little too passive. Thought Kilgore would have done himself a favor here. Just put the arms up and hold your position. We're not sure where that foul occurred, but certainly a benefit to New Orleans.
Concern for Willis Wilson keeping the Privateers off the line. One of the best in America in terms of getting to the line, and once they get there, they rarely miss.
Yeah, and the reason they get there so much is because they try to do so many things around the rim, and they're a very good offensive rebounding team, and they just pound it inside and keep coming at you.
Rashawn Thomas pulls it down. 3-point game with 1:15 left.
Huge misses. Huge.
I jinxed him.
Yes, you did.
Rashawn Thomas. Tough angle. Working on Thibodeau. Fry was there as well.
Well, these officials, they're really heavily weighted to the offense. This is where Texas A&M likes to get the ball to Thomas in the middle of the floor. The help comes.
They got Nate Fry on that call, number 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the foul occurred.
You've said that a few times tonight.
But it pays big dividends to be extremely aggressive offensively.
22 points for Rashawn Thomas. Had 27 points last night.
Well, this game reminds me of a race that you've got to run all the way to the finish line, because either team is going to give up before the final buzzer.
Under 60 seconds left. Privateers trying to get to the tournament for the first time since '96. In the hands of Fry. 5 on the shot clock. Offensive rebound, Nate Fry.
Got a foul. Yeah, it's a foul.
And Amin does with 25.8 left to play. It was a deep 3 from Christavius Gill. Not sure he recognized the shot clock was winding down. Ehab Amin has fouled out as the Islanders cannot wrap up that defensive possession. Even though there was a deep miss by that man, Broyles, the rebound, gets the foul. Tevin Broyles has had a ball game tonight with the conference championship on the line.
Yeah, and particularly in the second half Broyles has come up big with play after play.
But this is what he has not been able to do. The free throws. Now 4 of 8 from the line.
Well, if he should miss here, you have got to come up with the rebound if you're A&M Corpus Christi.
After 3 straight misses, Broyles gets that one to go. 25.8. New Orleans.
Got to get in it
by
quick.
3. Timeout. Texas A&M Corpus Underwood in Stillwater. And Thomas Wonga out of eligibility. It now hangs in the balance between these 2 teams. The top 2 seeds in the Southland. Number 1 New Orleans and number 2 A&M Corpus Christi.
Looks like they're going to look for a three here.
Zip pass to Thomas. Too strong. Put back. No good. And hold that thought. Hold that thought, says the officiating crew as New Orleans starts to celebrate.